Alright, this last section of cubes is going to be just random puzzles. So, cubes that aren't really variations of speed cubes and aren't cuboids. They're just random type of puzzles. And this is probably the biggest group that I have. And because there's so many, I'm going to divide them into random sections. So you're just going to have to follow along because I really don't know what the sections are going to be yet. But you'll just have to see. Maybe you'll find something interesting. Alright, the first group of cubes that I'm going to go over are going to be gear type puzzles. So I have 10 of them here, so let's just get to them. The first one I have is a gear ball. This cube a lot of people have. It's very easy to solve. I did have an original gear cube, but I got this one here because it looked nicer and yeah, so I just wanted one that would turn better as well. So I got rid of my old one. So it's pretty easy to solve and I'd highly recommend it. The next cube that I have is the Gear Cube Extreme, and I turned it into a Gear Cube Ultimate with these stickers, and it's scrambled because I've actually forgotten how to solve it because it's been so long since I last solved this cube, because I'm much more into speed cubing now than I was with puzzle solving, so I have not learned how to solve this, and there's actually a lot of puzzles in this category of cubes that I do not know how to solve. But I should probably take the time to relearn this one day. The next cube that I have is the Gear Minx. This cube here is very cool. It's a little bit stiff. Sometimes the caps can fall off, and I've also forgotten how to solve the centers on this. I can get everything else, but I just don't remember how to solve the centers. So I should probably relearn that at some point. Next cube I have is the Gear Octahedron. Another shape mod of a gear cube, and just like with the last one, I have forgotten how to solve the centers. And this one here is actually pretty good. So yeah, nothing else to say. Next one I have is the Geared Master Morphinx. This is another shape mod of a gear cube, and I can solve everything but the centers, just like with the other two. And the stickers do peel a little bit, you know, as you can see on the blue side a little bit. But it's a pretty cool puzzle. Alright, next I have two Gear Pyraminxes, as you can see. This is the Mefferts one, and as you can see, it has it has some badly cut stickers that I cut for it. And this one here turns, like, not very good. I've tried doing the modification on it, but it still doesn't turn perfectly. This one, on the other hand, it's a bit stiffer, but it lines up a lot better. This is this cheap knockoff version that you can buy at the Cubicle, but yeah, this one here, it just turns a bit better. It doesn't have the locking issue, and the skiers don't skip like this one does. So I'd probably recommend this one over this one, actually. Alright, the next cube I have is the Gear Shift. This cube is scrambled. Not that I can't solve it. I just didn't take the time to solve it, you know. It's probably... Oh, there we go. It's solved now. It was just in that position. But anyway, it's a very cool cube. It's a little bit different than the other gear cubes because it can split and you can turn these independently. It's a pretty easy cube, and I would recommend it. Next cube I have is this David's Pitcher cube, or David's Gear Cube, sorry. It's a pretty cool cube, but I don't really know how to solve it, unfortunately. I've had this for actually quite a long time, and I just don't know how to solve it. And I should probably take the time to learn it. And putting these stickers on, I've heard, does make it a little easier to solve, and I think I know why. But anyway, so I'm going to have to figure out how to solve this. And the last one I have is the Gear Mix-Up. This is another gear cube that I like a lot. I can solve quite a bit of it, but then I can't solve it any farther. So, I should probably learn some more about this, but it can get mixed up very fast, as you can see. So, yeah, that's all I have for gear cubes. Alright, this next group that I have here are curvy copter type cubes, okay? So, first one I have is a helicopter cube. This one was one of my very first non-WCA cubes that I ever got. It's been a long time since I've solved it, but it's a cool puzzle. I still remember how to solve it. One part I can't do as well as the jumbling moves, but if I work at it long enough, I can get it. Next one I have is the Curvy Copter. This one I also still remember how to solve, but some of the jumbling I can't remember, just like with the helicopter cube. But it's a really cool puzzle, and I would recommend it. Next one I have is the Kirby Copter Plus. I have not solved this before. It's in the solve position. It's because I can't figure out how to properly scramble it, you know. I need to figure that out, and then I can probably solve it. Last cube that I have in this section is the Kirby Copter 3. This one is a very cool cube. I got it very far when I first did it, but I couldn't get any farther. I should probably learn how to solve this, though. I've had it for quite a while, and I still haven't solved it. Alright, the next set of cubes that I have are going to be crazy cubes and mix-up cubes. So we'll start with the crazy cubes. I have the crazy 4x4 1. This one is actually very easy to solve. It's basically, you solve a 2x2, then you solve like a 4x4. It's not that hard. And then I have the version 3. I did get the version 2, but it's not that much different than this. The only difference is this one has these corners, which actually become solved when you finish it. So I got rid of the version 2, but I kept this one because it looks nicer and it turns better. I still remember how to solve it, but it takes me a very long time to solve it because of how hard it is. And then for mix-up cubes, I have the original mix-up cube right here. And these two aren't solved because I can't figure out how to solve the parity. And I've had this for well over a year, and I still should figure that out. Next one I have is the 4x4 mix-up cube, and if you notice this piece is missing, that is because this cube here will not stop falling apart. And it fell apart somewhere, I couldn't find the piece, and yeah, so it broke very fast, and even on the tightest tensions, it still fell apart. So I don't really know what else to do with this. And then the last one I have is the Whit Eden 3x3x4 mix-up cube. This cube, I've solved it only twice, and there's a certain part I can't get any farther with, but it's a pretty fun cube. It was fun learning this on an airplane that was like 6 hours long. So yeah, pretty nice cube. I would recommend it. Alright, these last cubes here are just going to be cubes where I couldn't figure out a very good category to put them in, so let's just get started. First cube I have is a Rex cube. This cube was not that hard to solve. It's a pretty cool cube, and I would recommend it. The next cube that I have here is a Dian Dinos cube, and basically this is a lot like a Rex cube. So the only part I can't get is these corners, and I'm kind of stuck on that right now. The next cube that I have here is a Masters cube. This cube is basically a Rex cube with added corners, and just like with the Dinos cube, I cannot solve the corners. And this cube explodes on me a lot, even though it's very tight. Like, you might notice that the turning is very rough. So, yeah, I still need to figure out how to solve this one. Next cube that I have is a Land face-turning octahedron, which is basically a shape mod of a Rex cube. So given that, it wasn't too hard to solve, but there's some extra things I had to figure out to solve it. The next cube I have is a Lattice cube. This cube here was not that hard to solve. It's very similar to another cube that I'm about to show you in a second, and I'm probably going to end up selling this just because it's the same thing. But the other cube has an added feature which doesn't really make a difference. So that cube I just mentioned was a Mosaic cube from Mefferts. So this cube is basically a lattice cube without the corners. But the corners here don't add that much more. They just add an extra thing to keep in mind when solving. This cube here is a very intuitive cube to solve, and it does get a little bit hard to turn. You have to press it back into shape if it gets out of alignment, but it's a very nice cube, but I don't know if you can buy them still, because I haven't seen them anywhere in a long time. The next cube that I have here is a Mefferts Volcano cube. This cube here, I learned how to solve it, but I don't really remember the solution. So I'm sure if I went back and tried to solve it again, I could probably figure it out. So I'll probably do that pretty soon. But other than that, it's a pretty nice cube, and I would recommend getting it. Alright, the next cube that I have here is the Octo Star cube. This cube here is actually a very difficult cube, but I figured out my own method for it, and it's actually very easy to solve. So I'll probably make a tutorial on how to solve it, you know. It's a very easy method to learn, and it doesn't take too much to understand. So the next cube I have here is the Mefferts Pyraminx Crystal, and as you can see, it's been signed by U Meffert. So it's a very nice cube. I haven't solved it in a long time because I kind of keep it up on my shelf where all my trophies are as kind of a cube with the signature, and I haven't touched it in a long time because I don't want this to wear off. So I still remember how to solve it, but it's just been a long time since I've touched it. Alright, so the next cube that I have is the MFA Bermuda. I think that's how you pronounce it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what it is. So this is a corner turning cube, and haven't had it for too long, but I don't know how to solve it. So this is all I've been able to solve. I've been able to solve these, so as you can see, I have a lot of work to do on this cube. The next cube I have is the Iton Star Cube. This cube here is probably the hardest cube I have. Turning is not that good, and I've had it for several months, and this is all I've been able to do. So just like with the other cubes that I have a lot of work to do on this cube. The next cube that I have is a Dian Wheel of Wisdom. This cube is actually not that hard to solve. I was able to solve it within about 30 minutes of getting it. Maybe a little longer. I knew how to solve it pretty fast. It just took a long time to do it because of how many pieces there are. But it's a very fun cube, and I would recommend getting it. I'd recommend getting it in stickerless over the black version because the stickers I've heard can peel easily. And that's why I've got the stickerless version, and it also looks better. The next cube I have is a Crazy Pill from Crazy Guy Cuber. So this cube here is a very fun cube. I like it a lot. It wasn't very good at first, but that's because I used the wrong springs in it. But now it turns very nicely. The only problem I'm having is this sticker right here is peeling up a little bit. I'm probably going to have to take a blow dryer and try to get it back on. Other than that, this cube is very nice. It doesn't come out of alignment that much, and it's fun to solve. Alright, the next cube I have is a Rubik's UFO. This cube here, I don't think it's made anymore. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this cube, it's a very fun cube. You can also get something else similar to this that's called the cheese cube or the pie cube, something like that. That's the same thing as this, but this one is slightly harder because the spots where the pieces need to be actually matters. So, it's a very fun cube to solve, but I haven't solved it in a while because I've been more into speed cubing lately. The next cube I have is this sort of snake cube right here that you unwind and then put it back into a cube shape. And that's all you gotta do. Nothing else to say about this. Pretty easy cube. And then the next cube that I have, it's not really a cube, but it's a Rubik's Magic. This is a Rubik's brand version. I got into cubing like shortly before Magic was no longer an event. But yeah, I was gonna compete in Magic in one competition, but then they realized that they're no longer doing it. So much for that. But yeah, I still have a Magic, you know. I haven't done it in a long time though. Then I have the Master Magic, and this thing is a pretty fun one as well. But just like the other one, I haven't messed with this in a very long time. So nothing else more to say about this. So those are all the cubes that I have in my entire cube collection. So thank you guys for watching. Hope this video was interesting for you. Let me know what you guys think. I plan on making another one of these videos in exactly 1 year from now on 25th of March 2016, when it's been 4 years since I started cubing. So let me know what you think of that. And if you guys want me to make any videos on any of these cubes, let me know and I'll make those. And also, would you guys like to see a video on how I started cubing? Let me know if you guys want to see that. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on my next video.